Welcome to the Wednesday session. This is going to be continuing our class from Tuesday because this is part two of that presentation. So I want to do a little bit of sharing here. So we're going to start off with our screen share. So we are in Wednesday here. And so for Wednesday, you'll see there's just the one assignment, but it's actually kind of a big one. This is where you are going to be reporting back on that interview you did. You started this off last week. You told me who you were going to interview, and now you're going to report back on it. So it should be about 250 words. No, I'm not going to count it. It does it for me. But what I want you to do is I want you to actually present this the way you should. Okay, what did you learn about it? What insights? You talk to people who have experience in this field. You should have been asking them, what was it really like? Give me some insight. Okay. So make sure you name the person and the occupation. Okay. And respond appropriately. So when you're ready, click Start Assignment, and you can upload a file if you did it in Word or something else, or text entry and type away. Please don't try to use any AI generators because these programs check for that, okay? And so be honest and type your own real interview with these people, especially if you've interviewed one of our instructors here. Okay, so that's what we need to see. All right, so hopefully you got some good information. Most students do, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. So now on to our presentation. So here we go. And we are continuing on. That was from yesterday. So we are going to start with part two. Because this presentation was long, we actually split it up. Now, in-person preparation. You arrive 15 minutes before, whoops, ahead of time. Helps if I do that. There we go. Arrive 15 minutes before appointment time. You're taking everything into consideration. Know where it's being conducted. If you're not sure, contact the human resources there. Confirm those locations, excuse me, and direction. And I try to do kind of like a pre-run if I can. I know some people are like, oh, that's too much work, too much. You know what? I want to be a success. So I'm going to do everything I can. Unless you're real familiar with where it is, yeah, try to do a pre-run if you can. Now, understand the company's visitor protocol. Make sure you know what to do, know where to park. Do I need a visitor pass? What kind of identification? Buildings are not as easy to get into as they used to be. Make sure you know. If it's a paid lot, are they going to validate it? Meaning they're going to cover the cost. Or are you just out that money? So find out those things, okay? Now, a virtual interview. The advantages, you don't have to go there. A big disadvantage, how tech savvy are you? Are you good at being able to connect everything up? So if it's a virtual interview, make sure you have all those documents, including your online profiles, blogs, portfolios, everything's up to date. And you have it available because if they ask questions about it, you need to know what they're referencing. Make sure that they have your updated resume, their portfolio, and any websites that they need to see because you're going to be talking about these things. So they need to know what it is that they need to see. Now, it could be a phone or it could be video. I've actually had an interview where it was by phone. It played a question. I had to answer it, then push a button. The whole interview was automated. I hated it. I really didn't like it. I didn't feel comfortable with it, but I've had those. Now, if you are doing a video one, please make sure you are sitting upright. Check your background. Try to make it not as busy. Make sure that there's not a lot of background noise, etc. Make sure you're dressed appropriate. And when you're talking, smile. Make sure you come across pleasant. Talk normal, act normal. Look at the camera as though you were talking to the person in real life. That's your personality coming through. Okay? Sometimes it's even better if you're standing if you can, because you have a tendency to slouch. It might be a better idea. Okay? That telephone interview, be by the phone early. Okay? Making sure you're still sitting up straight because it comes through on that call. Make sure you're treating it as though you're face to face. Still wear proper clothing. It's going to make a difference to you. Make sure your materials that you need are there and take notes. Don't say, hold on while I grab pen and paper. Make sure no background noise. It comes through. Okay. That video interview, Zoom, Teams, Skype, other. Make sure your camera is working, your microphone's working, you have good internet. Don't try to do it at a McDonald's or a Denny's and everything's, loud, clanging, everything. Make sure if you need software, it's already installed, okay? Download it, installed, and functional beforehand, okay? Make sure you don't have a bright window behind you because that's going to black out your face. You want to make sure the light is coming in from in front so you can be seen. Now, they're going to ask you 3 different types of questions: general, behavioral, and stress. General questions are typically about education, work experience. What can we tell you about, or what can you tell me about yourself? What jobs have you had? What interested you most about it? Why do you want to work here? What is your major strength? Questions like, why do you want to work for this company? You get that from their website. I want to work for you because I saw on your website, blah, 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 blah. That shows you had interest in the company. You looked for their information. Okay. That will show them that you're interested in them. They want to hear about themselves. They're really egotistical. Okay. Now, behavioral questions. Describe a time when you missed the opportunity to provide the best possible service to a customer. How would you have changed your approach? Or describe a situation where you need to be creative in order to help a customer with a problem. In the first one, I can tell you one when I worked in the vet's office. I was helping a client with a prescription food for their pet, and another client came in. I continued to help the client that I was with. What I should have told the client I was with, I'll be right back. Went over to the second client, says, I'll be with you in a minute. Please feel free to look around while I continue to help this client, and I'll be right back. That's what I should have done instead of helping the first one. So there's an example in real life of something that I could have done. Now, stress question. They're strictly there to put you on edge. They're there to stress you out. And there's 2 different types, and I guarantee you these are typically on the midterm. Hypothetical and blue sky. Okay? 2 different but sound similar. Hypothetical is an imagined situation. Okay? Blue sky are questions that are not necessarily related to your job whatsoever. They just pull them out of the blue sky. It's like you could be an electrician. They say, suppose you're on a yacht. Has nothing to do with being an electrician whatsoever. Hypothetical questions would be, you're an electrician and you're wiring a house. That's an imagined situation based on your job. That's hypothetical. Blue sky is a question that has nothing to do with your job, but they are there to make you think on the spot and stress you out. Now, pay attention here because there are illegal questions that they will try to get away with. They cannot ask you your age. They cannot ask you about any disability that you have. They cannot ask you about your ethnicity or national origin in an interview. They cannot ask you, what gender are you, your marital or family status, or your religion. You can decide to decline. Okay. Now, let it be known that Florida is a right to work state. So even though these are illegal, you may find yourself not called back. That is illegal as well. But they cannot ask these questions. So they get around them by asking date of birth on things or when you graduated, but they cannot ask you directly what your age is. So they say, are you able to lift this? Or are you able to do this? That's not asking about a disability directly, but it's a way of getting around it. And so how they get around different family statuses. They will offer to walk you out to your car, and they are checking to see if you happen to have a child seat in your car. And then they might assume that you will miss more days of work because you have children. That is not uh, a polite way of doing things, but it has been done before. Okay, these are things that they are not allowed to do. Now, always ask the person doing the interview questions. Always, always, always research and ask questions. Prepare a list. If you don't know, who do I report to? Ask them. So, who will I be reporting to when I begin my job? You see how that's phrased? When I begin my job, when I start working here. You're telling them you are going to hire me and I want to know who I'm reporting to. What will my working hours be once I start? You're putting it in their head. They are hiring you. What will the company culture be, and how will my collaboration and teamwork among my fellow employees be? I'm putting it in their head. I am already hired by you. How will this company support my professional development? How will my success be measured? How will you evaluate my performance? So turn those questions around, ask them how they are going to do this for you because you are being hired. Always do this. Never ask, what is the salary? How many candidates will you interview? May I come back? What did you think about me? Are you going to hire me? No, 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 no. Okay? They may offer this information, but you do not ask this directly. You want to be successful with interviewing? Prepare. Practice these questions in front of a mirror or your phone. Mock interviews. There's a reason why we're doing this. They are going to ask you real life questions in that interview to see how you do. And then they're going to grade you on that. That grade's going to come back to me. That's what you get. I am not grading them. That comes from career services because they're going to be the one in the interview with you. I can't grade it because I'm not there. Okay. So please take that serious and do it correctly. The night before the interview, make sure your outfit and everything is ready. Iron it if you need to, but make sure it is ready the night before. Make sure everything you need is ready the night before and ready to go. Know your route. Plan to get there early. Get sleep. Make sure everything is ready. Do this. You want to be a success? Do this. Now, I want you to think about this. I want you to name 3 things you are looking for in a company other than money. We all need the money. We all want the money. But I want you to name 3 things you're looking for in a company other than the money. All right? That's what I want you to do for your Wednesday. All right?